Hey everyone, welcome to the day 8 recap in the Karen Reed case. And it'll be heavily about the lovely lady we just saw, Miss Jen McCabe, because between you and I'm worried for this woman's health. She's not that old, she is 49, but early onset dementia is a problem that we have to be worried about because this lady remembers everything clearly, but she remembers nothing. This lady can remember 100% that Karen Reed yelled, "I did it, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him." But she can't remember if emergency vehicles had their sirens on. She can't remember how many there were. She can't remember if they had their lights on. She can't remember the way she drove around Canton the day after. She can't remember who she had a conversation with. She can't remember she lied to the DOJ or the FBI. She can't remember what she had for breakfast this morning. But she remembers one thing and one thing only. I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Well, that's also one of the signs of dementia. You might bumble up your memories because she has never testified to that to any of the police officers or any of the grand jury. And that was what yesterday was all about. All of this, you're making stories up, and we got you. We got you on your health data. We got you on GPS. We know you are lying. And I would start by saying AJ did way better yesterday than he did Wednesday. I wasn't a fan of the way Wednesday ended with her just screaming, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him," 20 million times. But maybe that was a strategy, or maybe he went back home, they had a powwow, and they said, try and attack it this way, because something had changed when he started asking her. She was ready to go. She had her shoulders pushed forward. She was looking angry, and he just started by sweet talking her, going back to something not that nefarious, and then he kind of built up. And what did we then learn? Well, we learned she lied about what she did on that famous car ride with Carrie. Remember, Carrie Roberts said, we went from my house, I drove over, picked up Jen, we went to the O'Keefe's house, dropped off kids, then we had to go to Sergeant Lang's house and drop off another kid. And we sat outside for an hour, and Jen went to take a pee. Well, there was a little bit of a problem that because she was asked by Alan Jackson, so you didn't go by Fairview 34. I think we were kind of thinking, that was a weird question back then. But we found out why yesterday, because they have Jen McCabe's either Live 360 or somewhere else. They got her GPS coordinates for that day. And that showed a very different story. And she weren't prepared for that. And that's kind of where everything fell apart for her. And she turned back to Jen from the first trial. That angry, vicious woman that she's been trying to hide. Because we now know that after being picked up, they go to her house. No, they picked up at her house. They go to the O'Keefe house. Then they go back to her own house, where she is for quite some time. Then they go to Fairview 34, where they spend 4 minutes, according to her, doing a slow drive-by or just looking at the scene, thinking about how weird it was. And then they go to Lang's house, and then they go home. And she had no explanation why they spent 4 minutes outside of Fairview, but she didn't talk to anyone. And that was kind of the gist of all of yesterday. Did you have a private group message where you shat on Carrie and where you disclosed that you were listening in on the interviews? No, it's nothing. We know they were talking about if she'll just take a plea deal, it'll be all over. 3 hours before she was charged with the crime. I don't know if the jury caught that. They will have to put that into the jury's head. We know it because we have done it for so many months talking about this case. But all of this showed that little tight group of family members were communicating a lot. And in a way that if you read it and you don't have the rose-tinted glasses on and try to say, well, they were such good friends with John O'Keefe, you would sit and think, what the hell's going on here? Are they trying to cover something up? Because tell them he didn't come into the house. Carrie is telling them everything. Go ask the reporter what they know. All of it seemed very sus, but no, it was just because they were so interested. They just lost a great friend. But what didn't they do one single time? They never ever said, Jeepers, when you told me, Karen told you, I hit him, I almost lost my mind. I thought they had such a great relationship. Poor John, I'm going to miss him so much. Oh, my kids, his kids have lost another parent. This is horrible. Not one time did they show any remorse, any sadness, any emotions to anyone but the family. What did Matt McCabe think about 2 days after John O'Keefe died, when he was listening in, eavesdropping on Carrie Roberts' police interview? How much he missed John, his really good friend who he really hung out with a lot. How sad he was that they were never, ever going to spend another day together drinking a beer, talking about craziness. No, this good friend of John O'Keefe was annoyed that Carrie was a yapper, so he might miss basketball. You just lost one of your best friends. Think back to your last time you lost someone close to you. Was the first thing you thought about, oh, I'm going to miss Pee Wee basketball tonight? Oh, I hope the Knicks is doing better than normal. I can't wait to see the game. Or did you think about the loss you all just suffered because one of your best friends isn't here anymore? If you go back and watch all of Jen McCabe's testimony, in my opinion, you will see a vicious, vindictive, manipulating woman who didn't care 2 bits about John O'Keefe. A woman who has a very, very specific view of the world. It's family first. Everyone else is disposable. I'll throw everyone under the bus, but I'm going to protect this family. Carrie Roberts, her bestest friend, Carrie Roberts. Remember when Carrie almost got teary-eyed talking about Jen? Yeah, I talked to Carrie. Yeah. We sat down with Denise and wrote our timeline. Have you talked much to Carrie? Yeah, we became close. We talk a lot. No one in the McAlbert family has friends, is my opinion. They only have acquaintances. No one is friendly with anyone unless you're related by blood or marriage. I spent the entire first trial and say, I don't speculate on anything. I don't talk about anything. I'll only discuss what we see in the case. But anyone who has watched these first 8 days and believe there's nothing shady, did they unalive John or did they just try and hide something? I don't know. But anyone who watched Jen McCabe would have a feeling of a family that have big problems with the truth and who are really mean. Because when she had that little jab, as you well know, that DOJ's investigation is over. She didn't mention them by name, but she said the investigation is over. I wondered why two things didn't happen yesterday. When she said Denise was the one who wrote the timeline and she's in the courtroom right now, why we didn't have a break, why the defense team didn't go to Beverly Canoni and said, we're going to put her on our witness list and have her sequestrated just for the looks of it. I would have done it only for the looks of it in front of the jury, said, we need to break right now and talk about this lady. Number two, I don't know how much the door has been kicked in. Remember when Jen was on this stand the first time and she was allowed to kick in the door to Aiden Carney herself? Why couldn't we go into all of the DOJ stuff right now? Because she kicked the door in talking about an investigation and that it has ended. So they should be allowed to talk about it. Will it happen? I'm not sure. But, oh my God, Jen McCabe, you should really stop trying to think on your feet because you are that slow. At the end of the day, we had a crime lab who did the extrapolation of the alcohol. She used 1245, wrong time. She couldn't confirm that the test was done the correct way. She could only say, well, the numbers I got matched with this. I don't think anyone cares about that because Karen Read will be seen on camera drinking. Karen Read admits to be drinking. So if she was as sober as a church mouse or drunk as a skunk, it doesn't matter. They will not listen to the alcohol level. They will just see her on camera and judge her on that. We'll be back Monday. Remember, Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon, 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will have Alexa's room on to talk about how she's seen the case the first week. So please join us.